So we're going to get started. Holla, good evening, good afternoon. Rack of lamb. First, to talk about the principle behind Buff on a Budget and what these are about. So because Buff on a Budget hasn't really, Will has talked about maybe it being, on packaging or stuff like that. And I agree, there is a possibility for that. But without practicing and feeling what rings my ting as far as which recipe is the one that's gonna launch off, which one speaks to my audience the most, is you have to practice it, right? So these sessions are for me to express my experience with both cooking and nutrition and how they relate to training and your fitness goals. Also long-term longevity lifestyle goals, because we want to make sure we're living long. The idea is, how can we create habits based on the things we enjoy eating, but make it a process where it's easy, affordable, and we're not going off track of our B, right? Our true goal, right? So the rack of lamb, super flavorful. It has a good amount of fat, so we're going to remove a good amount of that fat. Okay, so let's first all preheat our oven to 450 degrees. And another just quick homework I want to go over. Hey, if you're going to do these, right, share them in the group. Share them if you want to share them on your social media. Awesome. That would be even more appreciated. You could tag my personal self, or you could tag Buff on a Budget on Instagram. You could share it in the groups to encourage more people to join these and help them throughout the process, because that's what this is really all about, is encouraging each other through like sharing these recipes, to be like, wow, this was the best chicken or lamb or steak that, and it was so easy compared to what I thought it would be. And that's why I want to, I talk about the scatinis and how it's just like, hey, I want you guys, now I'll be able to get more produce availability. Let me know what's fresh for you. And then we can start to create recipes around that stuff. And, again, it's a lot easier for you guys, and especially also Sarah, the weather allows you for that. So we could definitely make it more your flow. So I'm going to open up my rack. My oven is already preheating to 450. Here you have two options. You can use a non-stick pan, or you can use a cast iron pan. So it allows us to keep the heat, because we're going to sear and then we're going to throw it in the oven. And I'll cover this, obviously most of us know we want to keep our our meats away from our herbs, spices, and stuff like that, so we don't get cross-contamination, and always making sure we are washing our hands. So these rack of lambs that I buy are from Costco. They're about 2 pounds. They're on a little bit of the thinner side, so generally I cook them whole. But for presentation purposes, and just to give you guys perspective, I'm going to cut them into double chop. What that means is 2 chops, and I'm going to score. I'm going to then sear all the sides of the lamb. So, if you've ever looked, or if you know what a pot roast is, right? It's a big roast, and then you slice. You could see the cook on the inside, just like we did with the steak last week. Well, with lamb, you don't have to do that. You could just make it lollipops, like appetizer style, and you cut them into singles and you cook them off, like 2 minutes each side, and they're done. But because we're making it like a nice dinner style, we're going to use 2. So I have 2, 4, 6, 8. So about 8.5 chops. I'm going to take the fat off. So we're going to what's called lollipop these. We're going to cut the fat right where that loin meets the bones. very carefully, and I'm gonna press the knife against the bones because it's not gonna cut through the bone. And I'm gonna cut that fat right off. So this is called lollipopping or Frenching, right? Frenching is completely cleaning it, but we're not gonna go into that, like ripping through, but like this is a good amount. And you know, I know Jason likes fat, so you can keep that fat, render it down. Now, most meat in the loin section has what's called a silver strip, and it is this line of cartilage running through the meat. It's very tough and doesn't taste good. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our knife about 3/4 of the way. So 3/4 of the way. Get my knife and start underneath.
Amir?
Yes?
Before you get started, you have I think that's the panko breadcrumbs. It's blocking our view.
Oh, so sorry, guys.
Thanks.
So sorry. So I found there's 3/4. I cut right underneath that silver line. And then I'm gonna pull it and cut into it because it's very, very, very tough. It shouldn't really cut in half. You should be able to tear it off, and I'll show you mine in a second. Once I get it off, be able to pull it off the back end. So this small step makes the dish much, much finer. Because now we've really removed a lot of that tough cartilage and fat. It's not going to really be ideal. So you can see off the back end, it was right here, started here, and then I cut into it. So this one went across and up. So I'm going to actually cut this portion out as well. I don't know if you can see that it's white. So I'll cut that out as well, and then we'll have a nice piece, clean piece of loin, right? As if you're doing a filet mignon. Like the whole loin comes generally long, and they trim, right? Well, here you have to do the work. Again, do you have to do this? No, but if you want to take the extra 2 minutes to do it, it's going to improve the quality of your dish, like doing a feeder. And then you can just pull it back, and you may lose a little bit of meat, but again, cut against the tendon. This is why it's so important, guys. Knife has to be sharp, and we will, maybe that'll cover that in the next class or something. We can do knife skills. All right, mine's done. So I have one clean hand, one dirty hand. I'm gonna take my lamb, put it off to the side. I'm gonna bring my parsley over. Now here you can do garlic, parsley, peppercorns, coriander, basil. Like, again, find your flavor. Does anyone have any questions in the meantime? Also, I would like for you to turn your pan on to a medium high heat, closer to the high than the medium. Wash my hands real quick. And I also have some asparagus that I'm going to put into mine. Obviously, I didn't let you guys know, but this is principle-based stuff. So if you have some Brussels sprouts, you can cut those and shave those very nice, and that'll cook in the same. Because what we're going to do is we're going to sear the lamb, and the flavor of the lamb is going to start to build in the pan. I'm going to throw the asparagus in, and then when it goes into the oven, that's going to finish off with the asparagus, giving everything that nice flavor. So you can do Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, string beans, broccoli rabe,
I have a
whatever you
question
have.
there.
Yes, please, that's the way.
It turns out I actually have some Brussels sprouts in my fridge. Did you say shred?
Yeah, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna cut them in half and then julienne.
Okay, like cabbage.
Yes, exactly. I'm gonna do also my jalapenos while it's in the oven. I'm gonna do 2 different picklings because I'm a little spoiled brat. Okay, what we want to do, guys, is we want to start chopping up our parsley or whatever herbs you have. I'm gonna chop it very fine. So take a good minute and do it, like a solid minute. So I don't know how much, I know that most people think lamb is pretty fatty because we removed a lot of the fat, right? As far as calorie wise, you're going to be around 250 to 350 calories per serving, which is about 2 to 3 chops. So it's actually pretty good and it gives you a lot of healthy fat, good sodium because it's got a lot of salt in the meat. So my parsley is chopped. So everything's going to be split. You're going to need about 4 tablespoons of parsley. Yes. What's up, Harold?
I'm having a hard time with this. Is that what it's supposed to look like afterwards?
Well, a little bit. I mean, here's the deal. It's all going to depend on how big that silver skin was, right? So if you took a lot of meat off, then, then no. But if you didn't, then hey, you took the
Here's one
silver skin off.
before. That line is the piece I need to take out?
No, above.
Where's this one?
Below, like on the meat. Yeah,
this one?
that.
Oh.
Yes, sir. That's the silver skin on the meat.
Okay.
I'm sorry if I wasn't clear.
Oh, I got it now. Thank you.
So my oven is preheated. I don't know where you guys are at. Take your time. There's no rush. I got my Grey Poupon. I'm going to salt my lamb very, very lightly. Very, very lightly. Because, again, very salty meat. Yes. Any more questions? Or that's it? I can bring your hand down. It's okay. Off. How we doing, guys? So you should have your parsley and then whatever else, herbs, spices that you want added in here. I'm actually going to do a little bit Szechuan peppercorn that Jason Park got me. That smells awesome. Hey, fancy spoon with this. Everyone should be ready to start marinating their lamb. Their pan should be hot. Should have their mustard open. We're going to take about a tablespoon and we're going to rub that lamb with our. I have Grey Poupon, so I'm going to really make sure I have a good slathering. So what I'm going to do is first, because I forgot to I'm going to cut my chops quick down doubles.
Amir, when you're cutting your lambs into doubles, you're literally cutting 2 ribs apart at a time. So they're sets of 2.
Yes, ma'am. You don't have to. I was just saying, like, when you plate it, you'll have a crust on the entire outside, and some people don't want to see the inside. Like, I know my cook, right? So I know that it's gonna be cooked at the temperature I want. But if you've never cooked lamb before, it may be a little bit challenging to see how rare it is or how cooked it is. So what I recommend, like for Jason Park, the first time he did this recipe, I said, cook the whole thing, and then if it's not cooked to the liking, all you have to do is give it a sear off on 1 minute at the end, and it's ready. Does that make sense for anyone? Or not make sense? Because I want you guys to be able to master this stuff. And that's why I'm doing the double jump, because I'm comfortable not having to see the cook, right? If you've never done this before, then I would recommend, hey, do it as a whole, because then you have more room for error. And if you cut it already, no big deal. So I'm going to add my panko into the parsley and into my Szechuan. I'm going to mix it. Your chops should be marinated very well with the Dijon. Then I'm going to take a small plate, or if you're doing the whole rack, grab a big plate. You're going to take your herb mixture. You're going to place it down into the plate. We're going to use it after we cook off. We're going to spread mustard again, and then dip, and then oven. Right now, it's just getting the mustard. We're going to cook it, then add all the herbs and the crust and everything. Does that make sense? Does everyone? So you've salted, peppered, and only Dijon mustard your lamb. And pork for you, Levita.
Yep.
So, is everyone, give me the thumbs up? Are we ready to hit fire? All right,
Yeah.
So grab, that's the beauty, grab the
I'm not
chops.
ready yet.
Okay, no problem. And I'm going to just drop a tiny, tiny bit of avocado oil onto my pan. It's already, should be nice and hot, so that oil should take no time. All right. Meat side, so the thick side down, or bone side up, the inverted, like the canoe should be up. And spread them around the pan. And make sure the bones are not inside the pan, guys. So, you guys see that?
Nice.
You're right there, Miss Harold. I know you're the whole clan. So we're gonna give it a quick.
Dijon mustard before you salt and pepper, or after?
You put the Dijon after the salt and pepper. Always salt and pepper everything before you marinate things. So I have my chops cooking. They're gonna cook 1 minute. Let's flip them 1 minute, and then like 20 seconds on the outside. Then I'm going to bring them back out here. I'm gonna get my plate ready with my seasonings, right? When they come out, I'm gonna put them back on the board, right? The board that they were on. I'm going to put more mustard, light this time, a very light amount of mustard this time, just on the back strap, okay? Push it into the panko, and then back down, face up this time, so the panko is not on the pan, because otherwise it's gonna burn. The panko right now, I'm gonna put these.
How much pizza? How much is that?
By the way, always do the back lamb first. Don't do the front ones. Always food in the back to the front, so you don't burn yourself. And oil will splash on top of you. So the smaller the chop, the less time they have to be in the oven, obviously. The full rack is going to go about 14 minutes. Mine are going to go about 8 to 10 minutes. Okay, that's at 450, so they should be good to go. I'm going to start to take them. All right, so that's one. Little mustard, right? Right into, push it. It's not really that hot, I promise. And if it is, that's okay. You'll callus your fingers. And then it's going to go this way, face up. So the panko is face up. Another one. Boom. Again, push it in good. Push into the crust. Again, the whole process shouldn't take more than 20 minutes. Really pick up as much as you can on those herbs and breadcrumbs, guys. Okay, don't be scared. It'll feel good. Okay, so I have all my chops breaded, and they're going in the oven. Make sure you don't burn yourself. You're grabbing that pan. And whammy. Ooh, glad I didn't cut my asparagus. So real quick, those of you that don't know, asparagus, you're gonna hit, and you're gonna find that breaking point, and that's that part is what you keep. Break them. Where they break clean is where they meant to break. A little oil. Put these oil into my lamb.
All right, I think I got lost somewhere, Amir. I've got my
Talk to me.
chops in the pan. They've got the mustard marinade on them, but was I supposed to include the parsley and other herbs that I did in that part the first time they go in the pan?
No.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Just in the second portion.
Okay.
The first layer is just that salt, pepper, and mustard. We're cooking it off. Then our second layer is that parsley and breadcrumbs, and I added Szechuan peppercorns. You know, you had, again, I want you guys to learn how to create these dishes into what you enjoy, right? The flavors that you love. So while that's cooking, I'm sorry?
So I'm going with a lot of garlic.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I'm saying, girl. All right, so I got my serrano peppers and red jalapenos. I'm gonna grab a. So mine's in the oven, getting ready. It's cooking off. I set it for 6 minutes because I can touch it and see where it's at and decide if I want it longer or not. So I'm gonna grab sugar, salt, and apple cider vinegar. Yes, sir.
How long did you sear it in the pan? Sorry, I was
1 minute, just 1 minute on each side.
on each side.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you bread it, then you mustard, bread, and then right in the oven.
Not back on the pan, just right in the
Back
oven.
on the pan, but the pan goes into the oven unless you're using an aluminum pan to go in the oven.
Okay,
We're good.
we're good.
If you're using, okay, cool. All right, so I'll do my jalapenos and serranos. I'm gonna cut these really thin. We're doing a quick pickling as well, Sarah. I want to share that with you.
How long is it in the oven, Amir?
Yours, Levita, I got it. How thick is that chop? Probably like 4 minutes, 5 minutes.
Okay, it was like an inch thick,
Yeah, probably like.
but I
3
cut
to
it.
4
I cut it
minutes.
lengthwise as it turned out. So yeah, that sounds about right.
I've got some serranos that I might be able to use for that quick pickling.
There
Is
you go.
that-
So salt, pepper, sugar, and some type of vinegar will help you finish off a quick pickling. I'm gonna use apple cider. All in there. Sorry again for the late notice on the chili, guys, but it was like, if you want, you could do a yogurt with this, like yogurt mint and a little lemon. That goes really, really nice with it. If you want something cool versus something hot, right? Depending on the day. If it's lunch, right? You want a nice cool yogurt to cool down that lamb to dip into. Like a honey yogurt, really nice. Would be really nice.
So round two, the mustard is a bunch of mustard, the parsley all mixed together, right?
No, it's breadcrumbs and parsley mixed together. The mustard just is like a coat, and then you push it into the breadcrumbs and parsley, and the crust is built.
Got it.
It's like
okay.
It's like a primer.
Got it. Okay.
So mustard, like we talked about, and I know some of you weren't there for that first session, it's a natural like it bonds, right? Like eggs. So it's good for breading chicken and fish and all that stuff without having, let's say if you do dairy free, use mustard versus eggs. I got my peppers chopped. I'm going to do a tablespoon of sugar. I'm sorry. 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, 2 teaspoons of sugar, 2 teaspoons of salt. So I have my mason jar. Fill it over there, no big deal. The Instagram fitness people will be mad at me for that spillage of apple cider vinegar. All right, I got my sugar. Honey, honey. You could add maple syrup in here to sweeten it up. You don't want it so hot. 1 salt. Boom. That's what the pickle was. Mix it up. Put the peppers in there. And the longer you leave them in there, the more flavor they're gonna have. How's that? And they're good for like 3 months. So making these during the season when they come out fresh, or at the end of the season when you're running out of peppers or vegetables, you want to give them longer lifespan, right? Some Eastern European shit right here. That's it. This takes 10 minutes, not even, for the peppers and everything to pick up. That's it. There's my pickled peppers. And you could do pickled onions, I love doing like pickled red onions. And I do like sumac or like red chili spice with those. So like Mexican style for your tacos. You do salt, red chili flakes on red onions, and just let it sit. And you'll have like red onions for my lamb's ready. Red onions tacos. Who doesn't love tacos, especially, you know, if you live in California. So I am looking like I'm almost there. So on this last minute, now is when I'm going to flip those lamb chops onto the breading side so it doesn't burn. Okay? That looks like the bomb. You can already smell how good everything smells. Yeah, I'm gonna go about 10 minutes with mine. So I'm gonna do 6 and 4. Get a nice medium on that. And then we're gonna let it rest 5 minutes. And then we can enjoy. And that's what's cool about this is I have my asparagus and the lamb cooking. I could do rice right now. I could do another vegetable on another pan, or if you like, I have a double oven. So you can, before you start everything, put broccoli in the oven, cabbage, artichokes, right? Yeah. Talking to you, Mr. What's up, Kate?
Oh, we've got artichokes going too. Thanks, Doug.
Yeah. 43 Marlboro Road. No, I'm just kidding.
How long in the oven? Sorry.
Are you cooking what? The split, double rack, full rack, singles?
Double rack.
Split into. Okay, so about 10 minutes.
Okay.
So I did 6 minutes or you could do 8 minutes with the breadcrumbs up, and then 2 minutes at the end on the bottom, so you get a nice crust. But you don't want to put the breadcrumbs first because then they'll burn.
Got it.
Anyone have any questions?
I do. Since I'm not
Yes.
using breadcrumbs, I'm just using parsley and garlic. Should I put it on the rounded side and then
Yes.
put that down, or leave that up?
Leave it up first and then put it down. Well, first you're gonna, yes, leave it up and then put it down.
Okay, so round one. I've got everything all coated in more mustard.
That's okay. All that mustard is gonna do is just add more flavor. It's not like gonna be like a very mustardy taste.
And I see what you mean about the crust. One of them, the crust of mustard must not have soaked into that part of the lamb chop enough, and it stuck to the pan. I was like, oh, there's the crust. I left
There you
it
go.
behind.
But that's what's nice is about that second coating is you're gonna get good. And that's what's very important is to make sure you're getting a good coating on that first time around, really get in between.
This one's for you, Doug.
There you go.
Nice.
Let me come up here. Anything I can join you with. I have a little Bacardi, a little drink.
That left is Prosecco that I got as a Galentine's Day gift. And I think I've got one can of Dark Side cider. This is like my favorite cider now. I've got two.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are 20 seconds from finishing up.
All you Star Wars nerds out there. So black currant cider.
Black cherry soda with some rum. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
We could do cocktails too, by the way. You know.
I had a little too much wine at the Herald's last night, so I was feeling it this morning.
We all did.
Oh,
Beautiful. Awesome.
Oh,
Amazing.
look at that, Amir.
Oh, yum.
so Amir, I actually
Yes, ma'am.
happen to have some gluten-free panko crumbs in my pantry that
Nice.
I discovered this morning, so that worked out.
That's awesome. Love it. Now we really no excuse why not to make it.
Thanks. Can you send me the brand, Gina, so I can look those up, see if they're here too? So good.
I'm sure you could probably find them like on Amazon too, but or any like Whole Foods, Trader Joe's.
Look, you
is-
can see how golden the crust is.
I am ready.
But that's what's
That
nice
looks
about that
amazing.
mustard. It's going to give it a nice golden flavor even more. Right? So that's it, kiddies.
You want to take a picture, sir?
Yes. Grab my phone. It's trying to focus on your face.
Oh,
Awesome. Thank you.
uh-huh.
Where is everyone at with their lamb?
Mine just went in the oven for the first time. And they're split into twos, except for the end. The last two on the end were so big, I split them apart. So how long should that go?
6 and 4, 8 and 2, something along that range.
We gotta flip ours
Okay.
over.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here, let me do that.
6, because
How we doing over there, Levita? That looks like you're doing pretty well over there for yourself. I can't hear you. You're muted, but that's okay. You finish doing what you're doing and then say what you gotta say.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I didn't realize I was muted. I said I'm getting ready to start eating.
Oh yeah, baby.
yeah.
You gotta let that food rest a little bit, all right? So you get
It's gonna
full
rest.
cooked.
It's gonna rest in my stomach.
Ooh.
No, I'm kidding. It's got another
So-
minute or two.
Here's the deal. I'm gonna show you guys obviously how I finish this if you want to hang around. Because lamb, again, we cooked it smaller, so that rest time is gonna be shorter, right?
Ooh,
If you cook like a big roast, sometimes 25, 30 minutes, maybe the rest time on that,
yeah.
right? So the idea is we want it perfect. We don't want juices leaking. And so when you cook that full rack, the reason why I was talking about presentation is because, yes, is it easier? For sure, because you don't have to go through this whole process. But presentation-wise, it's going to look way, way nicer on the plate, especially like, for example, if we do this yogurt sauce, then you don't have blood dripping into the yogurt sauce, right? And that's what I'm going to, really start to share is like take pea purees and carrot purees and beet purees, like I do a really nice golden beet and then a purple beet puree with red snapper or Arctic char, which is really, really nice. And like figuring out like, okay, the golden beet usually cooks a little bit quicker than the red beets. It's a little bit sweeter. Like learning how to balance that stuff out using the greens and now taking 2 ingredients and making a whole dish out of that, right?
Nice.
3 ingredients. And again, using what's seasonal and fresh. And that's what I'm excited to, it's like, okay, I'll be honest with you, Sunday nights may not be the cooking sessions. They may be Wednesday or Thursday night because, right, we're coming into summer. People are going to want to enjoy their weekends. But that's what's great is like, we can, again, have the discussion in the Fat Fuck Food, be like, hey, we're going this and we're bringing this with us. What are some things we can do? And then that Tuesday or that Wednesday, I can shoot a class. Those that can attend, and those that can't. And then you're prepped for the weekend, right? Because I want to show you guys like how I make mussels and clams and lobster and things of that. Because here in the East Coast, we're coming into that season, and mussels and clams cost like $6 for a pound. So for a family of 4, you could, for $25, have an incredible dinner by fire, by the lake, by the ocean, just taking a pot and a few herbs and tomatoes, right? Based on what's fresh. So my lamb is ready. I'm going to cut into it so you guys see what's going on over here. I'm going to take my a couple of pieces of asparagus off first and put those in the center. You know, and they pick up some nice crust a little bit too. So remember, I was telling Brandon, it was asking, I don't know if some of you may have knocked in the comment, is how many chops per person? And we said about 4. So I'm going to take 2 doubles and like cascade them over the asparagus. Like that. And it looks really, really nice. And you can, you know, drop a little bit of potato, or like mashed potato, or whatever you mashed cauliflower, right? I don't know. Like whatever you like. And the final cook is moment of truth, right, Brandon? When you cut into that meat.
Oh yeah, I see it.
Perfect. We fit.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
look at that. Perfect.
That looks so good. Lamb lollipop.
Lamb lollipops. What's cool is you guys get to eat this now too. You don't have to stare at mine. Isn't that cool? Guys, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you allowing me to practice at this. I would love feedback. Like, hey, this was easy. I would make it again. Hey, it was fun to make, but I don't know if I would do this that often. You know, like, because it's great that I'm teaching you how to make a rack of lamb, but if you're never gonna make it again, then what did we get? Cool, we got a really nice dinner together, which is awesome. That's the experience part of this. But then how can we then expand on that experience more and more? And that's why feedback, whether it be like, I loved it, I hated it. This is why I loved it, would do it again. Wouldn't do it again. Why wouldn't do it again? This is the most helpful thing you can do for me. Yes, over time, I will be doing these for the public and charging people money. So I want to practice that. Never you guys, but I want to practice that. And I want to be able to make this a valuable asset in my life that allows me to bring my passion and my purpose together to help the people in my life, Jack and Tanya, have a better quality of life. So, much love. Any questions, guys?
Just like, I mean, that's probably
I have questions I'll share later. I set up the smoke alarm.
Oh,
Awesome.
So Amir, on one of our rack, so we did the full rack.
Mm-hmm.
The crust came off of one of them, but the other one it didn't.
So the crust,
Okay.
yeah, the crust peeled off.
Okay,
But
so
the
here's,
the
other one turned out beautiful.
okay, so I'm
So
going
I
to
don't know
say
what-
one of 2 things.
Something wrong.
So I'll tell you what happened. Most likely, the one that fell off is going to be your second rack, the one you did second, and that means there was moisture, too much moisture in the breadcrumbs, and so they didn't stick to the meat. Correct.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I don't know
sometimes
which
it's
we did
better.
first or last, but that probably was it. Yeah. Yep.
So that's most likely the case. Here's what I would say in that situation, really, really, you could even see if you go back and watch the video, those third and fourth chops, I was like really going in and pressing multiple times to make sure that it sticks, because that is gonna possibly happen. So thank you for that.
Yep. Thank you. We just scooped it back on.
Yeah, and that's what's great is like you're gonna cut it up and like, you know, I'm gonna just pour these onto my lamb after I cook my lamb and eat my lamb with that little spicy pepper. So it's like anyway, you're gonna be cutting it up and eating it. It's not for presentation wise, yes. Does it look beautiful? Of course, but you know, drizzling it over the cut up lamb after would look nice too, you know.
Amir, what do you put in the yogurt sauce? Oh, it looks great, Brandon.
Nice. Oh,
Fell off the plate.
It just fell off
yeah,
the plate.
that was awesome. That was
Just
awesome.
like Julia
Tilt the
Child says,
phone.
just remember you're alone in the kitchen.
Tilt the phone, not
Hey,
the cat,
that's a
not the
5
food.
second rule.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's a counter.
That's awesome. So it would be yogurt, lemon, and mint.
Yogurt, lemon, and mint. Okay.
Mint is a pretty popular combination with lamb, right?
But yeah,
Yes. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you, Amir. I'm so
wow.
excited.
guys, enjoy your meals. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Amir.
Yes, nice, Brandon.
Yeah.
Enjoy, brother. Katie,
Nice.
Brandon, enjoy. Harold, Lavita, enjoy. Skatini,
Yep.
Sarah, guys, whoever's watching at Jason Park, thank you for attending.
Thank
Say hi
you.
to Jeff. Have a good night. everyone.
Thanks, Amir.
Good night.
Good night,
My
guys.
pleasure.